What's up, everyone? Today we're going to do a brief video on the auction sheets that we'll see at a Japanese auction house. So here's a pretty good representation of what the auction sheet looks like. If I had to make one gripe about this particular one, it's that this person didn't know the right version of buy to use in this sentence. But other than that, it's a pretty good auction sheet. This particular car is not a Skyline. I'm not entirely sure what that VIN number is. It would be located right here. But that's chassis code or VIN number as we would think of it. It's a grade 4, so it's probably a pretty nice, maybe a newer car. Actually, definitely a newer car looking at the year here. So to kind of put this in perspective, the auction sheet is based out of basically a grade 6 is the highest, and that would be a brand new car with absolutely no flaws whatsoever. For older cars, like we're looking at 25-plus-year-old cars, finding a grade 4, it's not impossible, but it's pretty rare. That's a very nice car overall. Also, you'll see, exterior, interior stuff here. And also, I can't read any of this stuff, so I couldn't tell you what it says. So whatever points were written in about this car, it's beyond us. Fortunately, when we look for our cars, we have people that can help translate it for us. So we know more or less what we're getting into, but much like the people buying the cars sight unseen from us, yeah, we're kind of in the same predicament when we get these cars from Japan. We know a bit, but not everything. So about the different grades, again, grade 4 being a very good score. We'll see a lot that are maybe a 3.5, definitely a lot of 3s or 2s, which, obviously on older cars, it's going to say, hey, this car has wear and tear because it's been used. Another thing people often ask about is a grade R. Sometimes people shy away from a grade R because, grade R usually means it was in some sort of collision, maybe heavily modified. The collision aspect of that is basically that the car was in some sort of a fender bender. Usually a grade R is not going to have any sort of frame damage. It might have rust down there, but again, 25-year-old cars in Japan, sitting on an island for their entire life. Another thing to consider too is, if the cars are sourced from Tokyo, Yokohama, etc., very densely populated cities, to find cars that haven't been in a collision after 25 years is quite impressive. I mean, think about, maybe a car that's been in New York City for its entire life and never been dinged or never been, vandalized on the side of the road. It's kind of the same situation. Unfortunately, things like that happen. It's less common in Japan, but hey, it could still happen, right? Now, also that means, with no frame damage, there are symbols up here that we'll see that it means a car basically has been totaled. We do not buy those. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the money. The amount of money it would take to, invest in that car to make it worth selling to our customers, we just wouldn't be sustainable at that point. So even if the car was dirt cheap, it would just be so expensive to repair a car like that. So we just stay away from it altogether. I know some people have asked us for rolling chassis, but hey, it's a pretty big liability as a business to sell stuff like that. But other than that, this is basically what the auction sheet looks like. It's pretty straightforward. So to sum this video up, basically what we can say is, should you shy away from a car with an R grade? Not necessarily. Let's put it this way. Some of us that work here, if we were to go out and buy a Skyline GTR with our own money, we'd probably gravitate towards a grade R. Now why is that? Think of it this way. If a car has been in some sort of a collision, yes, that could be detrimental in some ways, but the car has been rebuilt, which usually means it's getting some sort of fresh parts, maybe fresh paint, and maybe any issues that it had hiding underneath, maybe some rust, could have been addressed in the meantime. Now, that's not going to be true for every single car, of course, but that could be the case on some cars, so a grade R may not necessarily be such a bad thing. But this video should have at least given a pretty good description of what the auction sheets look like and why they kind of work the way they do. Again, being that we don't read Japanese, we're sorry we couldn't tell you everything that thing said, but maybe we'll learn someday. Who knows? If you're not already a subscriber, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching this video, and have a good one.